Welcome to Epic Stock Due Diligence. Please subscribe at youtube.com/EpicStockDD. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Ed here, back again with another exciting episode of Epic Stock Due Diligence. Now, today I want to talk about L2, Level 2 quotes. Now, it's something that a lot of people may feel that they have to become familiar with if they want to trade penny stocks, and it's not necessarily the case. It does provide a lot of extra value, though, if you are an active microcap stock trader. Now, what I'm going to do in this video, while I'm looking at Level 2 quotes on my iPhone 5, is I'm going to explain some of the things that I look at when I'm evaluating a stock's potential performance by way of utilizing real-time Level 2 quotes. Now, again, with penny stocks, as I've stated before, expect to lose 100% of everything thrown at a penny stock. Expect to lose it all. And I'm providing this information for entertainment purposes only. Now, looking at Level 2, there's the first thing that everyone should notice. There's a side of the fence that says bid, and there's a side that says ask. Now, underneath each side of the fence, there are these 4-letter abbreviations. Just a few examples: NITE, ETRF, MAXM, CANT. Those are MPIDs, so they're abbreviations for financial institutions. They're called market makers. Now, market makers make the market. So when you're looking at Level 2, typically, historically, if you watched major news networks such as CNBC or Bloomberg, for your big board stocks, you would see the ticker go by, and it would just have one price. When you're looking at Level 2, you're not only seeing the ask price, which would be the price that one would expect to have to pay if they added shares, or the bid price, which is what one would expect to receive if they sold shares that they already owned. But both the bid and the ask side has multiple market makers. So when you're looking at this, it can often provide signals as to where a stock might be headed. So for example, if I believe that a stock is about to tank, go down in share price, something that would strongly suggest that to me would be looking at the bid side. Now, not only looking at the bid price, but how many market makers, how many MPIDs are at or near that same bid price. And of those market makers, what share quantity do they have listed at that bid price? So here's an example. There's a stock, and the top market maker on the bid is at .0043. And then below that, the next one is .002. And the one at .0043, they only have a share quantity of 60,000 shares listed. Now, there's a good possibility there that if someone tried to let go of a position of shares that they already owned, say they had 1 million shares, if they tried to let go of it at .0043, it probably wouldn't fill completely, may not even fill partially at .0043, because unless the market maker is trying to hide, and they do this sometimes, hide how many shares they're hoping to buy. Because when you're selling at the bid, that market maker is buying your shares. There's a good possibility that it wouldn't fill at .0043, and there's a good possibility if somebody tried to let go of 1 million shares they already owned, that it could literally destroy the bid. So there's a good possibility it could go down to the .002 range very quickly. What I like to look for on Level 2 are stocks that, and you probably hear this terminology in stock forums, etc., the bid is building, or good bid support. Basically what that means, looking at this same scenario, maybe the market maker at .0043, instead of having 60,000 or so shares, they had a quantity of 20 million. You know, that's pretty solid bid support for a stock trading at that price. Now, something that could even be even a better signal is that you've got multiple market makers at or around the same price. So maybe there's 5 different market makers. You know, these MPIDs, these four-letter abbreviations. Maybe there's multiple, 5, 6, 10 of them. And maybe they all have blocks for sale on the bid of, you know, $1 million, a few hundred thousand here. Maybe some that are 30 million. I mean, you get the point. So that would be really, in my opinion, really strong bid support. Something else that I use on level 2 is, and that's assuming I had a position and I wanted to know if I could let go of it, or if I wanted to buy more, because if you see that the greater bid support, I mean, ultimately expect to lose it all with penny stocks, but with the greater bid support, the probability that it'll tank as quickly is less. Now, of course, there's always, you know, you've got Joe Bob Trader or Joe Bob Trading Group, and they bought hundreds of millions of shares, and they decide to exit. Well, even if you have multiple market makers at, you know, 15, 20 million blocks, that bid's going to disappear quickly if they decide to dump their position. But looking at the ask side of the level 2, there can be some other valuable information obtained. Now, when I'm looking at the ask, and let's just say hypothetically right now, on the ask I've got a market maker at .0045, and they've only got a few thousand shares. And then the next market maker is at .006, and they've only got a few thousand shares. And then the next market maker is at a penny, and they've got a few 100,000 shares. So looking at a stock in that scenario, I would say it's pretty thin. The ask is pretty thin, meaning that if someone slapped the ask and bought at that ask price, that assuming there's not a lot of people letting go of positions they already have in that company, that the ask should go up as they add more to their position, or if they add a starter position. Maybe that person didn't have shares of that stock already, but the ask should increase. And in that example, it's very thin to a penny. So those are ones that I look for. And typically, as the ask goes up, the bid follows. Now, there are scenarios, and that brings up another thing. If you see a stock and you refer to it as what's called a big spread, a big bid-ask spread, that's when you may have ask at, let's just say, a penny, but then bid is .002. So in a scenario such as that, it's one of those deals where if someone bought in, because, I mean, obviously most all microcaps are speculative plays. If someone bought it at a penny and then they decided, uh-oh, news has changed, or they uncovered something, you know, after doing their own due diligence, and they didn't want to be in that, then since they bought in at a penny, the bid's at .002. So if they want to get out at that point in time, that's their best case scenario. If they can get filled at .002, which is a quick way to lose some money. So, you know, when I'm looking at penny stock plays that I feel might not make me lose 100% of my speculative investment, I look for ones that have a tight bid and ask spread. So, for example, ask price of .0045, bid price of .004. That's tight. And, you know, like I said, I like that bid support. I want to know if I speculate and purchase a new stock or add more to a stock, more to the position of stock I already have, that there's bid support there. So if, you know, if some unexpected news comes out, or somebody, including myself, uncovers something, I'm going to get out quickly, I want to know that there's a sufficient amount of bid support to increase the likelihood of me being able to get out for a small loss. You know, I don't want to buy a stock that's a penny price per share with a bid of .002, knowing that when and if that if that less than positive news hits, or whatever other event, that I'm stuck selling a stock that I bought at a penny for .002. That's just not how I play this game. Other things that level 2 can signal, and I'm just looking at my level 2 as I do this. That's what I got on my phone. But if you look at the individual market makers themselves and you research these financial institutions, just go to Google and do an MPID search. And you can get a list of all these MPIDs. It'll tell you the financial institution that MPID is an abbreviation for. Go to Google and search for that. Go to their webpage. Do a Google search. Do a forum search. Find out as much as you can about that financial institution. Because some of these financial institutions like higher risk plays. And some of them, when they come in, it can signal an extreme amount of confidence. Because if you see a market maker coming in that typically doesn't deal, let's just say in this scenario, pink sheets, trading in the 00 and 000 price per share range, and then you see a market maker coming in on the bid, that's a pretty good sign that they want some shares. And based upon the past history of that particular financial institution, it could be a potentially bullish sign. So that's another thing to look at when you're looking at level 2. And you're probably wondering, and you've probably watched my other videos on EpicStockDD. If you haven't, I definitely encourage you to look at those. But level 2 is something, it's a tool you can get with most any broker now. And I've really found the Ameritrade level 2, the level 2 tools that I get with Ameritrade to be the best. And a lot of people like E-Trade and some other brokers, but I've been very impressed with the level 2 quotes from Ameritrade. Not just because it's a clean interface, but because it also does all the OTCs. A lot of brokers, if you get level 2, they may not offer it for your OTC. So you won't get your pink sheets, you won't get your OTCQB, your OTCBQX, etc. You're just going to get your big boards. And for me, with a big board stock, level 2 is not that much value to me. But then again, I don't trade big board stocks that much anymore. I'm primarily a micro cap speculator. So with that being said, I mean, this is it in a nutshell. I don't want to get too technical with this, but I do welcome your feedback and your questions. Like I said, I'm here to entertain, and if there's you got some questions, maybe I can whip up a video and provide some more entertaining information. But if you haven't subscribed already, I definitely encourage you to do so. It's youtube.com/EpicStockDD, and share this video and any of my videos with others. And check out my book if you want to. It's available in the Apple iTunes store. Just costs a few bucks, and you can get a link to that. Just go to youtube.com/EpicStockDD, and where my picture is up there in front of the Bull on Broadway in Manhattan, it says buy my book. You can just click that, or you can look in this video's description. I got a link in there. Or you don't even have to buy it at all. I don't care. I'm just trying to promote my book. But thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.